Well, hello everyone. The Ada County Republican Central Committee had a meeting right before the winter meeting, a state level winter meeting that just passed. And we were dealing with expected business right now. In fact, there's something I might comment on a video later. Well, but that story is still developing as it turns out. Anyway, so preparing for that meeting, we start getting notices from like the secretary and whatnot that apparently there's going to be a new parking procedure. Now, in case, just for full context, in case viewer for some reason doesn't know, the Ada County GOP usually has its meetings in the Ada County Courthouse on the first level in the public hearing room. The where the commissioners usually have like their public meetings and such. And there was a little bit of chunk of time during the dark years in which some of the good years going into the dark years where we weren't for a while, and then we're back thanks to good Republican leadership. But anyway, that has been the place that A County GOP has been going for a while, and usually if you got to the parking lot after 6, you wouldn't have to get like charged for parking or anything, and that's roughly the case still. But you have to like press a button and the arm comes up and such. And if for some reason the parking lot people, because you do have to pay for parking outside, inside of business hours for the courthouse. There are some exceptions like jury duty and all that. But if for some reason the parking lot attendant believes that you should be paying money instead of not, you can't exactly just dispute it right then and there. You might be able to argue whatnot, but if you have to pay some fee for the parking, even though if you did things right, but let's say if you did things slightly wrong and now you owe the whoever's taking care of the parking lot. Well, found out through those parking procedure emails that you can't pay cash for that, which is weird because in Idaho we settled that argument a little bit ago. And so, like, wait a minute, no. Something like that is definitely, you're supposed to be able to still pay cash for it. And so, we might be in a situation soon where some people might actually have to pay cash for the parking at that parking lot, which, it's going to create a problem. So, somebody was pissed about it enough to the point where he already wrote a resolution about it. And he introduced it last night, but didn't go through the what somebody thought he was going to do, and just assign it to resolutions committee, then pull it out, which is the proper procedure if you want something introduced immediately, heard immediately. We didn't. Apparently, we didn't that night. So I got a copy of the resolution, and there's a little addendum which we'll take care of in a sec. Now, as soon as OBS agrees with it. Okay, so this is the resolution. Now, notice that's the stuff at the top here is actually not all that relevant because we didn't actually consider the resolution directly. It's going to resolutions committee, I guess. But so here we are. Resolution of the Ada County Republican Central Committee. And we're just going to read on in. Whereas the Ada County Courthouse has implemented a parking policy that requires that all persons utilizing public lot adjacent to the courthouse pay for parking 24 hours a day. Not quite true as it turned out, but we're probably going to get some refinements by the time that everything comes back through. Whereas the machines collecting payment when exiting the parking lot refuse to accept cash. Now that's where the problem is. Whereas United States coins and currency, including Federal Reserve notes, circulating notes of Federal Reserve banks and national banks, are legal tender for all debts, public charges, taxes, and dues pursuant to that federal law right there. And whereas the Ada County Republican Central Committee believes in the rule of law. Oh, okay, so you're starting from there to build. Whereas not every citizen of Idaho transacts Whereas not every citizen of Idaho transacts financial with methods of payments. Oh, okay, the grammar here is weird. It might be fine, but it's weird. Methods of payment other than cash. Okay, failure to accept cash both prohibits citizens wishing to pay cash as a step towards a cashless society. We hate that. We really hate that. Whereas a cashless society is in conflict with the basic tenets. I think he meant tenets. Also, never see the movie Tenet. It disrespected my time by having an over 5-minute preview before a Star Wars movie. I literally thought that they were playing the wrong movie, and just about the point where I was going to get up and start complaining to somebody, it became apparent that that was a preview, and then they actually started playing a movie. But anyway, tenants. Okay, tenants means, somebody who's like renting for you, like renting from you, like living somewhere, or renting a commercial space or something. Tenets is probably what is meant here. But I imagine that this is just a, Scribner's or a clerical error that doesn't need a full amending or anything like that. But of the Republican Party. Therefore, be it resolved that the Ada County Republican Central Committee condemns the decision of the Board of Ada County Commissioners in this matter, and be it further resolved that the Ada County Republican Central Committee calls on the Board of Ada County Commissioners to amend this policy to accept cash payments in compliance with that citation right there. And be it finally resolved that the Secretary of the Ada County Republican Central Committee shall transmit to the Board of Commissioners a copy of this resolution. And oh, yeah, I forgot to read this one. Be it resolved that the Ada County Republican Central Committee condemns the decision of the Board of Ada County Commissioners in this matter. Ryan, he's talking to you, and to be honest, I'm not cool with this either. Now, I have it on good authority that there's going to be an amendment, since this whole thing was actually started by somebody saying, hey, wait a minute, didn't we ban that in Idaho? We're going to... There we are. Okay. So this reads, and this is probably going to be added, at least I have it on good authority that it'll be added. Whereas Idaho Code Section 672361, and yes, that one's the in the emails that I've got about that, the people have fat-fingered the actual citation. That's the real one, 672361. Requires that any official, department, board, commission, or agency of the state of Idaho that accepts payment for transactions shall accept cash as a method of payment, along with any other methods of payment the official, department, board, commission, or agency may accept. And then, of course, grammar after that. Okay, so put it back to the webcam here. So that's pretty succinct, pretty short one, pretty direct to the point. We're kind of mad about something, and first we're going to do the resolution, and then if things don't get moving, then we might start doing other things. But yeah, that's a quick resolution review. I've only been recording for about 9 or so minutes, probably 10 by the time I hit stop. And y'all have a good rest of your night. Blessings.